they do need to get something now to actually deal with this Shadow Fiend. And I think going forward, draft-wise, they need to make sure that they don't get themselves in kind of a pit here. Hero that is, I'm kind of thinking about right now, though, that either team could still go for is definitely the Pango. I think that hero getting through and still being untouched could be a pretty big trap for either team to go for. And then, again, just love that hero, believe in that hero so much because it just works. It just wins. I think it'd be great setup for the Dawnbreaker ulti. And there's a Bloodseeker ban, so Thunder Awaken, you gonna ban the Ember? Okay. Cringe Crew have every right to pick Pango here, and of course, they have to figure out how they want to lane that Pango, and some teams are willing to pick Pango into Shadow Fiend and even lane it just because Pango will survive despite it all, even though that lane is not fun, and well, Nico's gonna have to be very careful, but also classic Nico hero. I would not be surprised at all if they go for it right now. And they'll keep us
Okay.
waiting. They'll instead, yeah, they're playing for some lane counter picks still for sure. Keep the draft very open. Take the CM away from Thunder Awaken as well, because they still need their 5, which will force Excel onto something a little bit different than CM. But we'll have to see. And yeah, I'm definitely still thinking about that Pango pocket pick, though.
Is there any threat at this point of Thunder Awaken maybe trying to steal it away? Or is it something that they're not really looking
I
or not
definitely
there?
think that they could look at that hero, and I would not be surprised at all if they took it as well. But that's also where they've got a pretty easy Visage pick right here, I think. You get Visage Marcy, you get Disgusting Lane, absolutely Disgusting Lane, and then probably just pick Excel, average 5. I think Jakiro probably looks the best, or Disruptor. And yeah,
It is.
done. Easy, simple. Just because I think even though the Enigma's not banned, we've seen Enigma versus Dawnbreaker before, and Enigmas don't want to be forced into getting the BKB. It's just too good of an answer, I think, in the Solar Guardian. But I think aside from Visage, I don't know. I think that's probably the easy hero to call because you just want something to combo with the Marcy. I'm so sad we haven't seen any Primal Beasts today, even though that hero's still there. Like, I feel like he's chopped liver. Nobody's looking at him at all. Everybody's sick of that hero. I mean, I'm not sick of the hero because I play the hero. I'm sure everybody else is probably sick of it though.
Yeah. People have to play against it, maybe not so happy with it. We did see the one ban onto it earlier today as Thunder Awaken are going to pull the trigger on the Enigma pick, so... And now things get a little bit interesting. Enigma on the Thunder Awaken side, the Pango pick will come through for Cringe Crew, and... Well, I mean, the Enigma's buying a BKB. There's no getting around that with this lineup. You really aren't going to avoid that necessity, but... Once he's got it, I mean, as long as he doesn't have the same issues that Sunlight did last time around, should still be pretty damn useful.
Well, and it's got that same idea, even though it's not the direct one-to-one counter, like, let's say, Global Silence would be. It is a situation where if the Dawnbreaker wants to play Dawnbreaker, well, eventually you're going to use Solar Guardian to do something else, probably combo with the Pangolier, in which case you won't have to save whoever gets Black Hold, is the idea. So it's not the worst-case scenario, and of course, Enigma Marcy... We talked about Enigma Tiny. We've talked about that more so because Marcy's always first phase banned. This is the best lane in Dota, period. It is the best combination. You have the best 4 position to create kills for you. You have the best offlaner at being an offlaner in this meta. It's just simply brutal to play against, and no matter what Cringe Crew pick for their carry here, it's probably going to be sad. Not to mention, perfect bans from Thunder Awaken, the Gyro and the Naga are the only 2 heroes that have a little bit of hope here. So I am honestly out of heroes for what Cringe Crew can pick up. I think a part of me almost wants this to be a Dawnbreaker carry, because Dawnbreaker is one of the best heroes versus Enigma, and actually killing those Eidolons paired with the CM, that could probably lane versus Enigma. But then you have to really be thinking ahead and switch things up right as we come into this final phase, because otherwise, again, I'm still kind of scrambling for heroes here, because looking across the board, Sniper would have been an option, but that was banned ages ago.
Well, let's see if they at least consider that on the Cringe Crew side. I mean, if they do decide to make that switch, put the Dawnbreaker up at 1, now it's going to have to be a hero that can out-farm and out-fight a Lifestealer. Oh, I don't know, maybe. The question is, if they do make that move, ET, what would they be looking at here in, I guess, the off lane? Unless they want to move the Pango as well.
Yeah, and well, that's a fast pick, so let's see.
Oh,
Okay. They go for the Medusa and steal it in against them in the same laning situation as before. And of course, that had its own benefits and drawbacks, but interesting. Not a bad Medusa pick at all. I think a little bit passive, but you're paired with the CM. It's quite literally the exact same situation, except there's a Marcy in that lane now. But now it's all up to execution, what they're actually able to do here. Something that's going to give them a little bit more time, though, is not only is Alone not on the Tusk anymore, but Illich is also on that same type of offlaner that will just stay in his lane. So playmaking responsibilities is now going to lie at the feet of Michael. So the 4 position is going to need to pop off a little bit more now. Alone's going to be farming much more. So this is going to be a much slower win, if you want to say that, for Thunder Awaken. If this is going to be a successful game for them, this game's not going to be over at 15, 20 minutes. We're going to have to see them play for 25, 30-minute timings instead.
yeah. I mean, it's a little. It's gonna be a slower win. It can't get much faster than what they had in game one. The point still stands. The pace is not quite going to be what they wanted it, or not want it to be, but what they had the last time around. But you mentioned Michael on that Marcy's going to have to pop off. If ever you were looking for a hero, for a position 4 player to have early and consistent impact on, the Marcy really is your best bet.
Yeah, the best 4 position in the game. I mean, that's is the hero that you want to fill those shoes, but I have to see, because now it's all up to them to execute. My only, or rather, my biggest concern though is if Cringe Crew kind of end up in that same farm mentality. HF Thunder alone, he's playing. Oh, he's got, dude. Yeah, he's even getting the return HF Thunders. Love
That's
that.
nice.
But if Thunder Awaken get BKBs, that is where the game breaks. If SF Enigma, Marcy, all 3 have BKBs, Cringe Crew are pretty darn helpless versus that. It's where I think the game might become untenable for them. But if they can make some nifty plays before then, get that Medusa off to a great start. Hopefully Ark can hit a few more creeps than he was able to hit on his Naga Siren, then I've got some belief. But in the same vein as a lot of pressure is going to be on Michael for Thunder Awaken, even more is really going to be on Nico and his Pango, because he has to start the team fights, he has to get the Dawnbreaker in, he has to set up for pretty much everything this game.
Really sure where that Crystal Nova was, but threw out an early one, maybe looking for vision, trying to spot out a ward, but no ward to really spot. It's not really going to matter too much. He should regen all that mana up by the time he gets to lane, and he's got a trio of mangoes anyway, so no harm, no foul. We will see if Michael can snag a rune here. He is exceptionally slow. He's just going to give it up. Maybe not the greatest of ideas, but he didn't know there were 2 heroes there until they were already hitting him.
Walks away. Still waiting for one more bounty run. Yeah, there we go. The 2-2 split. But a lot of mana traded, honestly, on both sides. Nobody's really too upset, though, because everybody's got mangoes. Love the mango meta.
Yeah, just allows people to be a little bit more loose with some of these abilities, not just sort of holding onto them forever. So creates more opportunities in the early stages of the game as Michael runs in, pops a dispose onto Ark, just, hey, how's it going? Let me smack you a little bit, but this is the same situation that we just saw in the previous game. You can use Mystic Snake, and maybe it bounces to Illich himself, maybe it doesn't, but if it takes out the Eidolons, then it really doesn't matter if you get the extra damage.
Yep, nope, it's a very efficient play, and same way as game 1. Once you hit that level 2 snake, then you can actually hit the Enigma off of the Eidolons. It's just a matter of getting to that point without really missing out on too much XP from your CM. But we'll see, because right now, all creep waves all the way up to the tower, just Enigma things.
Yeah. Well, Sentry Ward here is blocking off the camp, so they're not going to be able to do any pull shenanigans at the moment either. So equilibrium-wise. Illich is just gonna kind of live the good life. He hits level 2, and now is when we might actually see some aggression. If he chooses to put that into Malefice, then these disposes that Michael has quite frankly been spamming out throughout this laning stage will actually set up for something. But now that they've got that opening and now that he's got the rebound, Michael's actually being a little less aggressive in terms of how he pushes out. But with the rebound ET, it feels like now this isn't for harassment anymore. Now Michael's looking for a real opportunity to actually kill, which obviously a little bit harder to spot.
Yeah, even though Enigma. What a boring hero.
Like, hey, if you can't find any opportunities to jump in, I'll just sit here and farm. I'm okay with that. Why wouldn't you be? Right? Enigma doing Enigma things. In the meantime, let's see how that mid matchup's going down here. Alone picked up the early bottle. Nico pretty much in the same space as him in terms of his bottle pickup. And of course, the second I look away from bot, they do make their move and they will get the kill. Illich finds it. That is the full combo. Rebound, dispose, Malefice, Eidolon right clicks, and only so much the Warden could do there.
Yep, just beat through him. They do kill, you know, the Eidolons in quick succession, but just wasn't able to help out his Medusa at all, and hopefully they don't give away any more kills, but oh, Nico trying to fiend a kill, and oh, the triple raise, but will Flea finish it? I don't think he's got it. Now, Flea, well, you're gonna have to leave too. Well,
showing some solidarity. It's like, listen, you might have to leave the lane. I'll TP in so I can leave with you, I guess. Although, look at this. He's still sticking around. The problem is he is walking right past a ward, so Alone knows what's up, and yeah. That ward wasn't there. Maybe that looks a little different. Maybe you pull one over on Alone, but as it stands, not very likely.
yeah. Yeah, and he will eventually go up and kill the bounty rune there and probably play for a top water rune, but they're really trying anything and everything to slow this Pango down.
Michael got a little greedy.
And
Wasn't able to
dead.
get the last bit of damage. Oh. Can he somehow dance? I don't... Ooh.
3 HP.
Okay. The Nova doesn't hit, so he walks away, and... Well, initially, it's still kind of a bummer for him, because he was hoping for the kill onto the Warden there. He was unbelievably close, but at least you don't get picked off yourself. He'll make a trip back to the base. Doesn't really have enough money for his boots, I suppose, but he's going to come back with full health and mana. At the same time, what's going on here? Excel and Flea having a ever so slightly dumb support fight in the river, just trying to protect the rune spawns, but the rune... well, I think Alone already used bottle charges he had gotten, because he is empty right now. Never mind, no he's not, because Michael TP's in to refill it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just get the SF anything with how much pressure the Mirana's put on, but of course, Dota, always a cost. Because the Mirana's been so gone from top, Lifesteal finished off his phase boots, and then, of course, the Dawnbreaker back to base in a pretty unlaneable situation. Great scan, though, from Nico. Scouting out, knowing that now Michael is looking for his own kill on him, especially right before the Pango hits level 6, but that will get dodged out now because of it, but they do got to do something extraordinary to now fix this top lane, because this Lifestealer is doing great. But yeah, Enigma, dead.
That was very weird. He gets away from the initial attempt, he falls back under the tower, and then ends up coming back in trying to farm the creep wave, and the Warden just kind of hits him up with the frostbite that leads into the kill. Michael now trying to get some revenge, but just like last time, he's not actually able to get that final hit in. Will he actually survive through this? Arc doesn't really have much more to throw out against him, so I think Michael gets away, but... Well, last time it was just him missing an opportunity. This time, E.T. Illich died first, and the Warden just kills himself off to some neutrals.
Yeah, just easy to deny. Of course, denying the neutrals doesn't always feel the best, but could be worse. And now, Haste Rune in the hands of Alone. He's looking whether or not he can connect to Sunlight top, and hasn't popped it yet, but might go now, and underneath the tower, even glyph the creeps, and yeah, this is looking like a real dead Dawnbreaker.
Well, he's going to try and fight for as long as he can. That wasn't very long, but Nico does come in here. Maybe he can find some sort of return. Yeah, he'll get Excel. The problem is, over on the other side, Illich was able to get one over onto Arc. They got the rebound initiation, and well, Michael actually had a sidekick target that time, so they were able to make use of those bonuses. And at that point, yeah, Excel's death, that is perfectly, oh my god, perfectly fine, as Michael wants to go hunting here, but he's just shy of the hit onto the Warden. Now he's got to make sure he doesn't get rooted under a tower, which is exactly what's going to happen, and not sure he makes it out of this one. The slow's going to wear off in a second. He does have some stick charges still, and he's going to be okay. The Warden doesn't have the speed to catch up.
Yeah, getting blocked right by some of the creeps as well, but it's whenever the split happens, if he can somehow manage 6 of those Eidolons, then the kills seem to happen, but still has to be very careful here.
That is a lot of respect they just showed alone in the river. Nico could have kept rolling to try and get the kill onto Excel, but it could have left him in the river with no more roll and an Angry Shadow Fiend in his face. So instead they back away, which means the SF immediately TPs down bot. Michael does not have cooldowns. Not able to get onto the Medusa a second time, but they will at least find a kill onto the Warden. Over on the other side, Flea does eventually track down Excel. So at the end of the day, it turns into a support trade, but look at Alone go. He knows, Ark, you don't have any mana. There's no actual shield here. He's going to try and force it, and he's got it.
Wow, what a raise from Alone. Just perfect positioning, gets sidekicked as well, so now he just heals off the wave, and, well, Medusa has his TP up in 4 seconds, but I don't think there's any shot you put yourself down here again, at least not without your Pango coming over, and Nico is walking, and yeah, he will just TP to defend his tower, and we'll see the exit here as the Eidolons try to survive through it all, but they used the roll mid and did get a kill with it, but has meant that the Medusa hasn't been able to receive any assistance from the Pangos thus far.
Both of the supports rotating in. Cringe crew really don't want to give this up without a fight. And how are we looking here mana-wise? Illich does have Black Hole up. He would need to pop either the stick or the mango to actually deploy the Black Hole, but it could be pretty big, right? Black Hole to set up for a full raise combo, but Alone is looking less and less like he wants to stick around here. You see him backing off already. He's got places to go. He's got camps to farm, so yeah, doesn't want to stick around bot all day.
Moves out. Medusa takes over mid. Feels really great for Ark. Gets to actually hit the mid tower even a little bit, which it feels slightly crazy, but still, keeping attention away from the Dawnbreaker lifestealer lane is definitely rough for Sunlight, but he has got Solar Guardian now. They've got 2 ultimates to just dump on a hero if they can connect. That's where bottom, yeah, they're going to go for it, but they all jump out, and now Sunlight.
Yeah, welcome to hell. That's going to be a Black Hole to the face. And they bait it, but Black Hole's now down, and here comes Nico. He senses his moment. He's going to Tumbler's Toy forward, going in with the Swashbuckle. Now wants the Rolling Thunder, and Alone, can he dance through the trees? Not off to a great start. He will dodge the arrow at least, but now the root comes in, but he has to just hold his ground. Look for the damage onto the Warden. Not going to be able to get it. And honestly, you know what? I think you're just going to have to be okay with that trade-off, right? Your Solar Guardian gets blown. That's a bummer. You lose Sunlight, but Black Hole gets used, and you find a kill onto Alone. You take it.
No, you take it, you move across the map, and now, well, your Dawnbreaker's out of a play, and Pango's on CD for 50 seconds. So, just the buy play that Cringe crew has to do because they can do. Might as well go for it, better than just sitting on your hands with all of your ultimate abilities available to you. But now it's gonna be farm time.
I was hyping it up, but Excel's just backing off, not getting himself caught. Uh-oh. Okay, wow. Trying to defend the tower. Macropyre used. The glyph, though, kind of ruins that plan a little bit, but it clears out most of the creeps. It pushes the heroes back, and well, mission accomplished, I suppose. But now what's going on top? The Warden's going to TP in. They're looking for Knight. Already used his Rage, so if they can catch up, which they can. I'm not sure Knight knew the CM was going to be there or not, but I assume with the way he was backing up, he probably saw the TP coming in.
Yeah, just daytime vision, incredibly difficult to actually do anything versus him. Feels like the only way they will ever kill this lifestealer or catch him off guard is if it's a blink from the Pango already rolling, or maybe a straight arrow, because as we've seen lifestealer picked up many times in this tournament already, it's a game where he can react to every spell. It's a very hard game to die in.
Supports on the Thunder Awaken side are starting to make their way bot, but I don't really think
Uh,
this is a kill they can get. I mean, they don't have Black Hole. They're going to try for it anyway, and wow, okay, Arc, never mind. Was
that's
Mana
what you
Shield
call
not
Marcy.
on at the start of that, or did Marcy just blow through it anyway?
No, it's just Marcy.
Damn.
Marcy, and unfortunately for Arc, a very low-level Medusa, which is, again, kind of unfortunate. It looks like Excel's gonna go down, though. Nico should have the kill here pretty darn easily, but he's afraid. But okay, they get the kill regardless.
The Warden knows no fear. He will push in to finish the job. Sentry going to get thrown down, though, so even if Michael dies, he is setting up some vision. Try and counter out that Moonlight Shadow, but everyone's going to walk away. Tower gets taken down by Alone, but now Alone is in trouble. He goes basically all in for that tower, and maybe that was a mistake. I think he was assuming his teammates were going to cause a little bit more of a distraction in that jungle, and when it doesn't happen, it's kind of left alone.
Yeah, quite literally. And he does go down, but, you know, I think in his mind, 12 minutes into a game, I just killed the enemy mid laner's mid tower. I'll take those. He'll be happy. He'll be satisfied. Not to mention he took 2 ultimates down with him, so even though it's a free kill, it's a kill that I'm sure he doesn't mind too much giving up. But I still have this problem where I just don't know what Cringe Crew are going to do once he looks at an item like the BKB. He's greeting out really hard for it right now, getting a Mom before. So he'll have Mom Lance on Shadow Fiend before he'll really be ready to fight. But once he does have that BKB, I just can't imagine what they're going to do. Because their Medusa is still just not finding that much farm.
It's a little bit concerned. Well, more than a little bit, actually. Very concerning. Zark is the lowest net worth core in the game, so you got to try and find farm. But if you're finding farm for him, that means there's no defense on this tier 1 tower top. Objective will fall, and the heroes who are here, I don't know. If you come up here and you don't fight, then you're wasting time. If you come up there and you do fight, you're taking a 4v5, so feels like no matter what, their time is being forcibly wasted by Thunder Awaken.
No, in the gold league, it's starting to speak for itself a little bit. There's just not too many plays being made right now, and now is where you would smoke up and try to make something happen here. In 15 seconds, you're going to have your Solar Guardian again, and then it could just be as simple as a rolling Thunder into Solar Guardian for another core kill, but that's where this next nighttime is going to be very important. That's Cringe Crew's easy way to sneak up on heroes like the Shadow Fiend, but they need to do it. If they don't, then we're still going to be in that sad, sorry state where we're still falling behind on our cores. We're simply getting out-farmed, actually. Thunder Awaken is just farming better than them right now.
Far more efficient as Nico. At least he's able to quickly back out of that one, but things like that, plays like that are just kind of fake outs and then you back off. You can't really afford to do that for too much longer, because at a certain point, Thunder Awaken just aren't taking the bait. They're not rotating anyone in. They just continue to farm because they say, you're not actually going to go in. Why should we react to it? So at a certain point, you actually do have to commit every once in a while just to keep the defense honest, as Michael is going to make the jump. The Warden is dropping low. Can they finish him off in time? No, they can't. And now Sunlight is here looking for something, trying to get onto Illich. Illich has a little bit of backup, though. Alone is coming in. Will he be able to get off any sort of black hole play? He will, onto about 3 or 4, but not the Dusa. So Illich gets taken down. Alone is still kind of pushing forward like he wants this fight. Can he actually kill Sunlight off in time? Yes, he can. Sunlight gets taken down. Okay. Lee leaps into the pit and gets killed by Roshan, so at least you're not giving up any money there. But now Arc, you've got to be careful. This is a bait. You do hit the Jakiro, that's great, but now Knight and Alone are right on top of you. He'll look for the TP out, but he won't make it. Now Nico, the Rolling Thunder is there, but it's way too late to save his buddy, and look at the damage he's just taking in the roll. Nico might want to read that description of Rolling Thunder, because I don't see the word invincible in this description anywhere.
Yep, and now they snowballed into Roche. They know that you used your Solar Guardian. They know that you used your Rolling Thunder, and even though that was their play to make, I mean, it's so free. It's so dead. There's just nothing you can do. They've hit their stride. The anti-armor is a little bit too strong, and I don't know. I don't know how much easier it gets for Cringe Crew from here on out. You're going to need to wait probably for Sunlight to have either a BKB or this full Wraith Pact he's going for, but this is where I think all you can do is hope that Nico could somehow have enough farm to carry you at this point, because Pango's the only hero that I think does anything in this game now.
What's he working with? He's got his defusal. So there's some damage, right? Some, but will that be enough is the question. Because as you said, it feels like he's not going to get much help. There's an aura on the Dawnbreaker. That's useful, but not great. There's a Dragon Lance, and that is actually it. He doesn't even have the Yasha on the Medusa here, so this is rough.
Now they're gonna just could pester the high ground, could just look for the tier 2 instead, get TPs back. Michael is even just set up looking for heroes that would attempt to push down this bottom tower, and with the lane ward, they will see that the Marcy is solo bottom, but they have to really dive for this kill and then get it quick and then run. And I think now with that, Michael should go down cleanly, even commit the freezing field just to make sure it's a very fast kill, but okay, it's time to go.
Yeah, here come the TPs. Knight TP's in. Alone's going to try and sneak it with the illusion rune, and does anyone get caught here? No, they do not. Everyone gets out safely. The creeps finish the tower even. So that really goes as well as I think they could have expected it to. Nico. Oof. Very dangerous game he was playing. Cancels the TP. Does he notice the well, now he sees with the Sentry Ward, so never mind. He exactly knows his opponent is there, but what's going on here? Excel gets on the back line. The Warden is taking some damage. They're going to hit him up with the Malphus. Moonlight Shadow comes in, but the Fade takes a little too long. And they'll find the kill, but at least it wasn't the Pangolier. Nico's able to walk away. Ark he's thinking about it, but he won't actually go.
No, instead, they decided to split, but when they split, they used their TPs on mid, and because they weren't able to turn that into a kill, and it was a great reaction from Nico. The reason he cancels his TP is because he does get affected by that presence of the Dark Lord. It sadly means, though, that you're getting jerked around the map right now. They're going to hit this bottom tier 3, you're going to have to walk back, then a hero from Thunder Awaken TP's mid, and then all your waves are in. And then suddenly, this is the final tier 2 getting taken for free.
Why? Why has he done this? Knight has infested a creep. Left the bot lane, went mid, came back bot. Now he's just chilling in the jungle. Now he'll finally deny it bursting out. I don't know if he was actually trying to do that. Maybe he was trying to infest his teammate and he misclicked on the creep, but just kind of has some fun with it for a few moments, and he can afford to do so because Thunder Awaken, they just keep on going here. The battering ram to all of these towers. Alone just pushes his way through and doesn't even actually have the talent yet. He's only level 13, so there's no aura on those buildings. It just doesn't matter. They've got the damage and the armor reduction to get through them anyway, and now Ark, you've got some backup here, so this actually could turn into a bit of a counterplay as, yeah, Excel does get taken down. Michael, though, first he was trying to be the ganker, now he's trying to be the bait, because here comes Illich and Alone. They're going to make the jump in. They're looking for the Crystal Maiden first. Illich is now going to try for a black hole target. And he does manage to get it off. Flea does get away. Can he turn around for an arrow? No, it's still on cooldown, so he has to abandon his buddy. But Ark is still trying to make it out of here. Pops the Stone Gaze, looking for the TP home. Any way to cancel? Yeah, Michael was trying, but Tumbler's Toy doesn't get him into dispose range.
No, and that was a good amount of their ultimates actually wasted. And with the way that both Nico and Sunlight are set up, now the mid wave's cut, the top wave's in, they're getting actual real farm. Still a tragedy that Ark's not seeing very much of it, but he will get CS as the creeps do push into his tier 3s. That's kind of the one nice part about having this Medusa on the high ground, but we've got, I think, a full Blink Dagger now in the Pango, and we're almost ready to go. Sunlight is doing a great job. He's got the shard coming out on his courier. He's got a full Wraith pack too. If there was ever a timing, now would kind of be it.
And that's exactly why you see them pushing their way forward. 3-man smoke. Ark is kind of just going to be left out as the bait, and well, to be honest, that worked okay for them last time, right? They were able to find one sort of kill onto Excel before, obviously, the second half of the fight got a little bit messier, but Ark is still durable enough to last a few moments for, you know, the cavalry to arrive, so they're okay with having him sort of lead. They're not going to get any sort of smoke play there, though. That smoke basically kind of died instantly because there was no one even on that side of the map. So they don't have that to work with, but now they're pushing out. They're actually leaving the base, leaving even their side of the map. You see Arc trying to keep the creep wave pushed, so they're feeling a little bit more confident. The problem is Sunlight is a little bit too far behind. He's the straggler here, and they're going to try to get him out with his ult. Yeah, that... I guess it was worth a shot, but
Oh,
it's on cooldown for a while.
that's 100 seconds, and well, they're just gonna ride that mid wave in. They trade out the Aegis for a straight up BKB on Shadow Fiends, and Alone is not gonna care about anything
Yeah.
anymore in this game. And the creep wave cut does come out. Nico does find his way, but with no glyph, this is Thunder Awaken's moment to do 2 lanes in at the same time. And as soon as they connect, well, they're just in a top wave with the cart. This is damage felt.
Knight did have to rage early to get himself out of that route, though, but that really doesn't end up factoring in much because they don't go for the racks. They stop at the tower. Okay. Not going to get too greedy with it. Although, realistically speaking, by not going further than the tier 3, they could still stay on their opponent's side of the map, maybe catch some of the Cringe Crew heroes coming back out, but now they're starting to split up a little bit.
Yeah, right now the vision's just too good from Thunder Awaken. There hasn't been enough time for the CM to actually go out and D-ward. And that's a pretty great scan because they know they're smoked now. They see the Ob Sentry placed. Gotta be careful, and Arc, he's so far out of the base.
Okay. Able to use the Manta to get out of the open wounds at least. Now turns around with the Stone Gaze, but that may help him get away. It didn't really help the Warden much. The Crystal Maiden falls, but the CM as the only casualty is not too bad. The question is, do Thunder Awaken go for a push off the back of this? I think the answer is no. The creep waves aren't really cooperating, and CM's not dead for that much longer. 15 seconds on the timer, so... Where is this going? Are they just going to try and smoke into the base at this point?
Yeah, I think so. Factor is out from mid. They're gonna at least get the range racks for free. They still have glyph, of course, but oh no,
that's a problem. Illich goes for the black hole anyway. That was a little bit funky. That is going to be a bit of a whiff. Excel, meanwhile, in the back line is getting picked off by Nico, or maybe not quite yet. He's somehow still alive. Lee is going to be able to run him down, though. So both of the supports go down. Now the cores are in a little bit of trouble. Knight does not have a lot of mana to work with, and he's just actually going to die here. That was a very strange decision. Illich comes in, they get the initial hit, but I don't know, they saw the Manta and the Force Staff that pushed him away right in front of him, and then Illich just black holes anyway. Getting maybe a little bit fooled by the illusions, or maybe he just had it queued up and couldn't stop it in time.
You know, very strange play. Not what they wanted, because if that does just go off, and even if you just blink black holes, you got greedy. You blink Malefist instead, and then kind of got owned by it. Well, they don't get anything, and they feed very important kills. Lifestealer eats his first death of the game just because his mana gets burned. Not pretty. Not pretty by any means. Of course, once him and our boy Michael has his BKB, then again, they will really not care about whatever Cringe Coup puts down, but at the same time, that's a good 3 or 4k gold swung in Cringe Crew's direction, just thrown into their laps. And a lot of that gold going to Sunlight, who now is one component away from full ags. By Flea, though.
Well, the
and
Warden. Warden thought he was going to maybe make it out of one for once, but no. Just sacrificed once again. DD Ruin on alone is just too easy to find those support picks. And now, well, the way that they're moving, ET, they're going to try and get back in and finish the racks, and Cringe Crew aren't in a great position to defend, so, you know, maybe they misstepped a little bit. Maybe they got a little bit greedy before with Illich not going for the immediate black hole, but they still regroup, they still come back in and get the racks, and that's the benefit that this massive net worth lead sort of gives them. You make one mistake, but you're able to honestly just kind of power through it.
Yeah, you get to move past, you get to now reset for Roche, which I can only imagine is what Thunder Awaken are going to do for him, but in doing so, you are buying a little bit of time for Cringe Crew to get some more strength here in Arc. He has just decided that he needs a rapier.
Okay.
No Scotty business, no butterfly. He just says that, yeah, this might be the only way we win here is if Nico can keep them chain stunned long enough, and I can right click for the 5 seconds that those heroes are stunned. And I don't disagree, but that is desperation showing on his face through and through.
Yeah, that's an idea that, yeah, it could work. Right? We're not gonna say it's a dumb plan. It's just a very, very risky one. Because if he goes down with the rapier in hand, that's GG. At that point, you just call it.
Oh, no one's gonna hit the mid tower. Yeah,
Just
he
got
knows
the
you don't have
side
glyph.
kick.
Oh, it hurts.
Ow. And he does have the aura talent this time. So, tower gets hit up even harder. That's like 3/4 of its health gone in a single fell swoop. And then they're just back into the jungle again, taking really no risks. So, like the way Thunder Awaken have been playing it, you see Sunlight still trying to get the creep cut, and to a certain extent, that's really, I think, the safest play for him. If he stays in the base, he could very well get jumped in on. So they're trying. They're stalling. They're doing what they can, but this is where things get a little bit tougher. Roshan going down again. It is Aegis and Shard, both two alone. So honestly, you know, the Necromastery upgrade, he could just kind of blow somebody up pretty damn quickly. And the crit's nice. The fear, though, is what might be even more important. If you hit up someone like Arc or Nico before they're in position, maybe before he gets his Rolling Thunder off, that could just ruin everything, because he doesn't have the shard. He has no roll-up to immediately sort of counter things.
Look, he's gambled in going for this Aghanim Scepter, just hoping that it will allow him to do enough damage here, but slow push in, the heal off the sidekick, and, well, here's the roll.
Okay, they're going to give it a try. The silence does go down. Macro Pyre deployed defensively. Alone's going to channel. No, he's going to fake the channel. But Nico, where's the help? Somebody's got to come out here. Otherwise, he's got to try and get back in the base. He does make it, but look at that damage. Very nearly killed off. And now Arc, he's got to use the Manta because he was afraid of the rebound hit. He was able to dodge it, but Michael is still trying to force something. Maybe he shouldn't have, though, because he does end up getting picked off. His teammates still are just trying to go after the racks. No, they're not. They're going for the kill. There's going to be the black hole. They're forcing out the Solar Guardian, trying to get through the Mana Shield. They do a pretty solid job of it, but can they actually finish the job? Arc is still alive for now, but it looks like eventually they'll finish him with the right clicks. Arc goes down. Buyback is available, though, so if they need him in the fight, he can rejoin. They have to maintain some sense of cohesiveness until then. Although, Alone? Okay. Alone just lost his first life. Used the BKB on the previous fight there, so didn't have that available and didn't save it for the second life, but in a roundabout way, really, Thunder Awaken still kind of got what they wanted, right? They forced the Medusa down, they take the racks. Knights thinking about going back in. Oh god, Nico, they pulled him out. Nico, you cannot afford to die here because he doesn't have his buyback.
No, but he does have Rolling Thunder, which hurts so much, because now their Megas, their Medusa successfully saved her buyback, but at what cost? And now I think the game is about to slip out of their grasp.
Alone's just going to push his way in, looking for some right clicks onto the Warden. Not going to find the kill, but we'll push everybody back towards the fountain. And now Sunlight just got caught. No BKB active, he's in trouble. Stone Gaze didn't really do too much there. Alone did drop a little bit, but the Infest is, oh my god, is going to come through. The crit and the fear just blows up the Warden. And now we're in dangerous territory. Arc is going to get pulled back by the Dispos. He's going to get blown up immediately. And ET, GG is called. We won't even get to see. We won't get an answer to the question of whether the Rapier could have saved them or not, because he never got there.
Yeah, and simply I think this is a kind of a G-Next situation. You know, if you're Cringe Crew, you've got another series to play. They've had your number here. Just G-Next. Come into the next series, maybe a little bit fresher. Take your 20-minute break. Think about some things. See if Nico's still willing to play with you guys, because this was tough. And of course, it's gonna be tough. This is one of SA's brightest and biggest teams, orgs around. So of course, it's gonna feel like a little bit of a mismatch here. But what can you do?
Yeah, they gave it a decent shot, but at a certain point, just kind of got the general feeling that they were a little overmatched. Take a look at the graphs. Trailing for pretty much the entirety of the game. Maybe a brief spark of hope here at that 25-minute mark, but a spark, not really a flame. So Cringe Crew take the 0-2 loss. Thunder Awaken boost themselves up a little bit here. They remain in top 4 contention. And we'll see if Cringe Crew have a turnaround in them, because ET, as you said, go next, but next is still pretty damn hard. They come off the back of this series against Thunder Awaken. Now they get to play Infinity, another team sitting at or near the top of those group stage standings. So it doesn't get much easier.
No, it definitely does not. Not to mention, Infinity. You know, if Thunder Awaken are the team that's going to make you GG out at 20 minutes, well, Infinity are the team that's going to make you not want to play anymore. they're the team that's just going to keep you in their base. They might take a little bit longer time on average than Thunder Awaken to finish up their games, but it feels like whenever they want to win, it's almost certain that they will. But we'll have to see. Cringe Group, they got to pull out all the stops coming into this next series.
Well, we'll see if they can regroup as a team here. Real test of their mental fortitude and whatnot, as they are going to get ready for another series going up against Infinity. So we will step away. The break might be a little bit longer, obviously, because Cringe Crew do have the option to take a bit of extra time after this series, but will be the Game 1 draft, Infinity versus Cringe Crew, coming your way after the break.